Hey, my creative friends. My name is Shannon from shannonstudio.com, and we are here to talk about creative life tips. And it is leap year today. No, not leap year today. It's leap day in the leap year. So it's like an extra day. And I just kept my head down again this week. This whole week has been the fabric collection. Only thing on my list. In fact, when my husband got home, he goes, "Oh, your hair looks so full. You look so nice." I hadn't brushed my hair all day. I brushed my hair until 15 minutes ago. So it's like funny because, when you get in that, I'm totally out of my routine. Hey, Rose. I'm totally out of my routine this week. I'm not going anywhere, haven't gone anywhere. I get up, come down, start painting or drawing. Hey, Trisha. And so I didn't even, for the last 2 days, I brushed my hair in the evening, but I just get up. Hey, Joan. I've just gotten up and just started working. So today when he got home and he goes, "You look so nice, your hair's so full." And I'm like, this is bedhead. I didn't brush my hair today. He just laughs. So it's pretty funny. So we're closing in on Monday. I usually don't work on Sunday. So tomorrow I'm not going to be doing anything because totally it's the Sabbath day for one thing. But then, the Sabbath as a day of rest, it really rejuvenates me. I think I've done a video on that before. But so I'm not going to be working tomorrow. So it's like tonight's the last little bit, and then I'm 8 hours ahead of the US, so 7 or 8 hours, so probably 6 for New York time, maybe 7, so I have to check. But so I have almost a full day left, so I feel like I'm gonna do it. Feel like it's coming together. I wish I could show you, because I showed my kids, and I showed them a couple patterns, and they one of the patterns my kids really like, and I really want to show it to you, but I can't do that, and so it'll have to wait. But I'm just super excited, which I was not up until just this last week. Thank you, Trisha. So let's see. We're going to talk about, because it's made me think this week, because I'm not doing anything else. I played lots of Uno today, and I've walked, done some things with Joseph and fed him, and so it's not like I haven't done anything extra besides your normal. So it made me think, when I have a project like this and there's things to do, you just kind of, it can be draining, and that's with a lot of things. But what we're going to talk about tonight is brain fatigue, mental fatigue, brain fatigue. And brain fatigue is basically, it's the technical prolonged cognitive activity. So your brain's just thinking all the time. It's on overdrive. It's just constant. And so there's 5 things I think that I read in this article by Nashish, and I tend to agree, but I think there's more. And I kind of added to them a little bit. But one of the things is constant decision making. And this one is really, to me, so easy to remedy. We have decisions we have to make every day. But to me, I don't have to make a decision every day about what I'm going to eat. I can make that decision at the beginning of the week, make a menu, and I already know, sit down, write it all out, and that's what I'm going to do for this week. So I don't have to go Monday morning, I wonder what I'm going to make, and waste all those, not precious, but all that energy thinking about simply what I'm going to eat, or what you're going to wear, or what, those things. You're making decisions for you, your family, spouse, work, service activities you do. You've got decisions across the board. So anything you can do to make routine is going to help, and it's going to take that off our plate. So lists. Every time I would fly, I'd get out my little, those little luggage tags. I don't use the luggage tag for my name. I have luggage tags that list the things I'm supposed to do, or take with me. So one is the electronics, not the non-closed thing. One's the closed things. One is, type stuff. And so I have the 3 tags. And so when I go someplace, I could wait till the last minute because I didn't have to think about what I was going to take. And so it's one of those things where I always have it so I don't ever have to think about it. And so if you can think about the things in your life, what can you make a list about? What things can you make lists for? Morning routines, chore charts. I remember we had these little chore chart tags. On one side was the daily chore. On the other side was the guests. When guests are coming, this is what you have to do. You actually have to do different things. And so, just having that, so then I don't have to tell the kids every time, what am I supposed to do? In the morning, kids can do that. And even I have a list of things that I want to do for my morning routine. I don't function my best 100% self early in the morning. So it's just like a kid, I have my list of things to do. So anything that you can take for decision making that you make definitely on a daily basis, but even weekly or those kinds of things that you can tailor into a routine, a system, anything to take those kinds of decisions off your plate. Right there is going to relieve a lot of the decision fatigue. You're not wondering every night at 5 o'clock, what am I going to feed everybody? Or bills, what bills have to be paid today? And that goes into the next thing. Another thing is put things on automate things. What things can you automatically do with bill pay and savings money going out of your accounts, or just certain things that are going on despite you having to make a decision about it. It's a great thing. It's a great mental reliever of things to do and the simple things. So what's another thing? Oh, clutter. Clutter's another thing. A lot of people can't. I think that's what the simplicity movement, Marie Kondo, is that her name? Kondo, does, because it really simplifies. It makes you feel like you can breathe and relax. If you have a lot of stuff like I do, I read another research that if you have that kind of stuff, which I do, you have to organize it. You have to organize it by things, color or size or type. And so then it starts to be less demanding on you. And then let's see, the clutter, it can stress the cortisol hormone, stressor hormone. And it's not that if you have a clutter for one day, it's if it's prolonged, if it's constant. And I've been in some homes where you walk in and it's laundry piled and junk mail piled. And so if you're getting into that territory, you got to find some systems to do. So for me, the mail, it's there's a trash can wherever I set up the mail system, and I've had to reset up things because we've been in Amman, we've been back home, we've been here. And so wherever there's the mail, there's an automatic trash can right there, because you automatically know some of that mail is going in the trash. There's no need to set it down anywhere else. Put it in the trash. And I think I did some I know I did some videos. What videos? 101 through 110 about cleaning and home management and some of those tips. So if you're looking for those kinds of things to help organize or clean your home, or make it nicer, and maybe little shortcuts, those are some good videos to go back to. Let's see, over committing. No, say it isn't so. Say it isn't that some of us do that. I'm looking at the names I see, some of us. No, I mean, just by virtue of being involved, we tend to overcommit ourselves. And it takes real discipline to not do that. And sometimes I think when you have families and you're a mom, Joan's when you are in charge of other people, it just seems like I get things on my plate by virtue of Joseph and by virtue of the school, through Joseph. It's the last minute, he needs a white shirt, and they had a circus show, and so he needed this outfit. So there's going to be things that you have no control over, about committing yourself. So that means you have to commit yourself. I mean, you have to make sure when you commit yourself, you're really being careful with it. Tricia says, if it is worth doing, it is worth overdoing. Oh, Tricia, that makes me laugh so hard. That is one of my mottos. I don't know. And now I take that back. Hey, Erica. That is one of my mottos on doing some things. Like some things I like to go all in and go crazy and see what can happen and make it this thing. But that's not where I don't think that's where I live. Like I don't do that every day. But you know what? I love a big event. I love, doing special things and just really going all out and just having fun with it and stress with it. I like that. Not everybody likes that. So that's why Trisha's bringing that up. And in fact, I have these bowls at home in the States. They're like these big bowls that I did at 9. And on the inside, it says, if a thing's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Did I do that with you, Trisha and Raylyn, that one time? I think I might have made one of those bowls with you, and that's why you remember that. So, overcommitting. Let's see. We have to be realistic. If you overcommit, then you're overcommitting. You can feel it, but you have to have like a deadline. Like this week, I'm overcommitting to this fabric collection. I'm overcommitting. I know that, but I also know it's going to come to an end. As long as you know it's not going to be the way your life is. If you're not overcommitted for weeks on end and there's no relief in sight, that's when you start to have a problem. Tricia says, you make it so fun and memorable. Yep, that's when we did it. We did our little star party. Overcommitting, that's a whole nother thing. I could take all these topics we're talking tonight and talk about them individually. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll take something or other and we can talk about it more. But here's another thing. Procrastinating gives us mental fatigue, brain fatigue. Procrastinating or avoidance. I was just listening to, I told you I've been taking this class with Jennifer Allwood, and I was just listening to a masterclass of procrastination today. And it was interesting to listen to, but the idea that when we avoid things, all we're doing is making it worse on our brain, worse on us. Either get rid of it, and here's another idea that they have that I've heard or read, or it's get your ideas out and put them down on a piece of paper, so then you don't have to think about it. Like there's a couple things. My idea books. That way I have the ideas. I don't have to try to remember everything, and I put it all down. Another thing is I have a running to-do list. Not like a to-do list for today. I have things down on the week that I want to do, but I have a running to-do list. So something that comes up and I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to do that. I just put it on the running to-do list so that I can go back and revisit that, but I don't have to remember it. I heard one woman today talking, Dr. Christina Lee, saying that our brains aren't really meant to be like a management system where we just hold things. It's, that gives us mental fatigue, basically, is what she's saying. And so we want to get those things off our mental plate and down somewhere. And that's like the did list, kind of, oh, that's not the did list. That's just kind of, no, you did do things, but it is the did list, video 26, the idea book, video 70, and I don't have a running to do this, but and a notepad and a pencil by the bed. So then when you're thinking about all those things you have to do, you can write them down. I don't really have a notepad and paper by my bed because some little boy always takes it, but I have my phone. And when I have something that I keep thinking about that I'm like, I need to go to bed, I send myself an email, and I'll put it, what I'm saying, and then I'll send myself an email, and in the morning I can put it on the list. So the idea of procrastinating, some of us do like to procrastinate. I wouldn't be pointing any fingers. It's just like that t-shirt I told you about last week, I think it was, where don't rush me, I'm waiting till the last minute. Sometimes that's our way of working. And I was listening to somebody on the podcast today, and the idea that Dr. Christine Lee brought up was that is the way I work, or that's the way you work, but she said, I don't think you've really given a fair shake or a fair chance to doing it a different way. and doing it in a long enough time for it to be a habit where you feel comfortable with. You're comfortable, like I'm comfortable waiting till the last minute. It's like the rush of adrenaline. It's like I can't wait any longer. The ideas have to be decided on. It just has to happen. Whereas I could do the same thing in a different way if I practice doing it in a different way. And that's what she was saying, is that we just haven't had enough practice to do it a different way. And so there's lots of procrastination, to get over that kind of books and articles. And Tricia says sometimes ideas have to percolate. That's true. And especially if you've never done something before. That seems to be my biggest procrastinator needle mover, is that if I've never done it before, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's just easier to put it off until I have to do it. Then I have to make decisions. I just have to put marks down. It doesn't matter anymore. And so I think that's why giving myself the deadline of Monday, it was just like, then something clicked and it was just like, okay. And it is that idea of percolating. I think we've talked about that before too in a video, where the aha moments aren't really aha moments in themselves. Like, they are really dots being put together over time, and then all of a sudden it comes to a head and you're like, oh, that's what I need to do. Let's see. Perfectionism, brain fatigue, where we, the definition that I read from the article from Noah Nashish was that perfectionism is that the person's trying to be, choose, see, or seek the best. Like, it has to be the best. And everything revolves around making sure it's the best. So there's decision, you can't make a decision, or you just push so hard, or the expectations, or, just all these things, or you go over and over and over because you want to make sure you're doing the right thing. And there has to be some key things, like, that you have to go, this reasonable expectations. Not everybody's like this. So somebody like this can start with this is good enough for now. There's certain things you can do. And like I said, all these topics could be totally separate things. And perfectionism is one of those things that are going to add to your brain fatigue. It depletes your energy. What else does it say? It overwhelms you, mentally drains you, exhausts you. You have mental blocks. You don't have motivation. You're irritable. You stress eat, or you have a loss of appetite. I don't think I've ever had the loss of appetite. Thank you very much. Insomnia. So all these things are health issues. And after a long time, if we sit in that brain fog fatigue, it's going to wear us down in unhealthy ways. And we have to be really creative about how we want to deal with some of these things. And, there's some of the videos I've talked about have addressed these things. And another, like, be organized, get rid of non-essential things. Get rid of them. If you're not going to do them anyways, so if you say, yeah, I'll do that, but then you end up not doing it, why not just say no in the first place? Videos 13 and 14 talk about when you should say yes to things and when and how and when you should say no. Somebody said, if it's not a heck yeah, I want, that comes over you when somebody asks you something, then you say no. And I kind of like that, where it's just like your gut reaction. You don't have to think. If I don't go, oh man, I want to do that, then the answer is no. And that takes some practice, and it takes some real discipline and guts. So let's see. Don't revisit things. So for instance, when you're at the table, you get up from dinner, take the dishes with you. I mean, there's just, if you have mail in your hand that you're going to throw away, don't set it on the desk only to have to pick it up another day to throw it in the trash can. There's just like, if it's in your hand, if you get up out of bed, make your bed. I never make my bed. It's not a priority. I don't care. But for some of you who want to care, make your bed right when you get out of it. Somebody had the rule where whoever was the last out of bed had to make the bed. That would be me every morning. Let's see, be real about, be realistic expectations. Stock up. This is another thing. I don't know how, my husband, the boyfriend, thinks I like to shop. I like to go to the grocery store. I don't know about any of you. You're probably like me. You don't like to go to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store. So for instance, stockpile on things. You know you're going to use 12 shampoos in a year. When shampoo goes on sale, get the 12 shampoos. You don't have to worry about shampoo again. If you can do that with as many things, if you have space, if you have money to do that, that's a great thing. Then you don't have to think about it. And it's not like, oh, we ran out of toilet paper. Somebody has to go now. That's a stressor whenever you get to the point where I have to do something. Hey, Beverly. Beverly said a long time ago, never touch something more than once, like mail. Exactly. Never touch it more than once, because you make it into a routine where you know this is what I have to do with it. That's the mail, that's your food, that's the, making food, whatever it is. And I think it takes a little extra time at the moment, but what you're getting as a benefit from it's not going to be on your plate again. You're not going to have to walk past it sitting on the desk and go, oh, guess what? I need to clean off that desk of the mail that I had in my hand for the last every day this week that now is a pile. So yeah, absolutely, Beverly. Let's see. So stockpile, things that you can stockpile, paper supplies, anything that you need to run your family, your life. There's not a set rule. I think, well, maybe in Sweden there's a set rule because people just buy these like little bags. I don't see anybody buy anything big. Could be my store, but buy in bulk. Take care of all the supplies, take care of all the things, and that's one more thing you don't have to think about. And same with the gifts. I think there was a gift bin video on number 5 where even buying birthday gifts and gifts that your kids are going to have to use beforehand. That was always a lifesaver because everybody came home with an invitation. Joseph had a birthday invitation every weekend in January. So they kind of come like that in waves where everybody was born. Let's see. Automate things. Your grocery delivery, which I love that kind of service. Even if you don't have like just in where we live, and it's about 40 minutes from a bigger city, but she calls, tells them what she wants, and then she can just drive up, pick it up. So she doesn't have to take the 3 kids out. Tell me that's not a stress reducer to not have to take all your kids out of the car to go grocery shopping. Yeah. So that kind of thing. And there's other delivery services. I know another gal here has a food delivery. So they send the meals, all the stuff for the meal. So there's different things that you can do to automate your life and things like that. Let's see, batch activities. Duplicates. This is something I do a lot. Like, nobody really needs 3 charging cords for their phone. They can just take the charging cord, but nope. It just makes it easier on me if I have one upstairs, one downstairs. So I'm not like I'm laying in bed and go, oh, I forgot to bring my charger upstairs. Simple thing. It doesn't cost that much more money. So duplicating some things, let's see, change of clothes. Always, have some kind of, I used to have a kit in the car. And we would have diapers in it and change of clothes and different things. Everything it was so nice that if something came up, we ran out of diapers or whatever, we always had that car kit because it always had the supplies in it, and it was such a lifesaver. Let's see. Lists. I told you about the lists. Take breaks. Meditate, and if you don't like to meditate, there's creative activities. Yeah, so that is a stress releaser. Stress releaser. So like get crafty. Feed your happy self. So having something that you do for you to bring and maintain happiness, whether it's an article, whether it's looking at something, reading something, writing something, talking to a friend. I used to talk on the phone a lot when I was younger, and I would clean the house, and it was just to clean the house while I'm talking to friends, and it's just so find something that brings you happiness. Let's see. There's a few more, but I think we're on brain fatigue. with all the things to release brain fatigue. I just have to laugh. The idea is to pick one or two things that will make it a little bit easier. And why make it a little bit easier? Because we're never going to take the time and create the time to be creative if we feel drained emotionally or mentally all the time. We just won't. And I know for women that's some of the biggest holdups for us in anything we want to do. It's I don't have time. I am overwhelmed. I have other things to do. So there's just a lot of things on our plates as women and moms and family members that really they're needful for us and they're important to us, but they really don't have to take up so much brain space for us. That's what I'm saying. And these are just some ideas to maybe help you and me to to take care of a few things at home so that we can have that time to creative, because there are so many benefits to being creative. I cannot stress that enough. And it's not my words, it's the research across the board. And I can't think of a category of people as much as women and women who care for other people need to be creative. And we need it. We need it because we are, I think, the emotional and backbone of society. And so, yeah, I think it's really important. So if you have comments about things that you think are helpful for getting over brain fatigue, or whatever your thoughts on it, share it with us so we can have some more to think about and maybe help us to kind of alleviate that. I think that's my list that I'm going to go for tonight. So remember, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye.